just Ash here. It has been forever since I've done a bonus round video, but Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu were just announced, and I just had to talk to someone about them, so I thought, why not you loyal 15 people that watch my videos? Hi, Mum. So anyway, I planned this entire video, and as I was getting ready to film, I then noticed that Bethesda had announced, I almost said Soldier 76, that's not right. I noticed that Bethesda had announced Fallout 76 as well, and done a teaser trailer, so I was like, huh. I replanned my whole video, set up to film again, and here we are. So I'm going to talk about Pokemon Let's Go first, just because there is a little bit more to discuss with the Pokemon games. Basically, they are an entry-level RPG to the Pokemon franchise, and unfortunately, this is kind of reflected in the gameplay. It's a mixture of a traditional Pokemon game and Pokemon Go. So the idea of catching Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go is the same as Pokemon Go. You see the Pokemon first in the overworld, so you can decide if you want to catch them, and then rather than battling them, you use the motion controls on the Joy-Con to throw the Pokeball. Unfortunately for me, I'm not a big fan of this mechanic. It just seems to take a lot of the challenge out of Pokemon for me. And while I understand that these games are meant to be simpler and more casual in order to get more kids playing the Switch, it's not for me. But these are not the core Pokemon games that were announced on the Switch way back when. Those games are still coming out on the Switch in the later half of 2019, which is great because it gives me something to look forward to with the Pokemon franchise. On the opposite side of Pokemon Go, though, there are still the traditional Pokemon elements. For example, you can still get into Pokemon battles with NPCs, and of course, you still earn EXP through these. Unfortunately, the leveling system hasn't been finalised yet, so we don't know quite how that works. And also, the stats for the Pokemon are much more simplified. You also can't breed Pokemon, so if you're a person who likes to breed for higher stats, I'm not sure if this game is going to be for you. The games are set in the Kanto region and also draw heavily from Pokemon Yellow. This means the starter Pokemon, Pikachu or Eevee, depending on which version you get, will stay outside of their Pokeball while accompanying you on your adventure, which I think is a nice, cute little thing. So we also found out that these two starter Pokemon will not be able to evolve. They will stay as Pikachu and Eevee for the entire adventure. However, to counter this, you can also catch wild versions of the starter Pokemon that will evolve. The Pokemon featured in the game are the original 150 Pokemon and their Alolan variants. The games will also keep the Alolan mechanic of being able to ride Pokemon without the use of HMs. Unfortunately, I'm a bit wary of this Alolan connection, as Pokemon Sun and Moon didn't feature traditional gyms, which is kind of my favourite part of a Pokemon game. They're the most challenging part, and I feel like we would have seen them in the trailer. My thoughts are that the gyms have been taken out or modified in such a way to keep them on a more casual, less challenging level, which again is a shame for players who like the challenge of a gym. Alternatively, they could have been kept out of the trailer for the sake of secrecy, and we may see them at E3. In fact, until we find out more about these games, I'm probably going to miss the Pokemon Let's Go games off of my to-play list. Unfortunately, I just prefer the challenge of a more traditional Pokemon RPG. And much like Pokemon Go, I feel like the novelty of being able to throw a Pokeball will wear off very quickly. And so we move on to our second announcement, Fallout 76. Now, this was just a teaser trailer and it didn't show very much, so I haven't got a lot to go on. What I have seen, though, is that most people seem to agree it's probably going to be an online multiplayer, with fans falling into two camps of what they think it's going to be. The first camp is that it's going to be an online RPG similar to DayZ, and the other half of the people are thinking that it's going to be an online Battle Royale Fortnite type game because that's the hot new thing now. I think both of these options are equally likely, and I am equally disappointed in both of them. Ideally, I'd like Fallout 76 to be a more RPG-focused game, sort of along the lines of Fallout New Vegas, as while I enjoyed Fallout 4, it was definitely more of a first-person shooter or an action-adventure type game. In fact, to be completely honest with you, I'd be much happier if Fallout 76 actually turned out to be Elder Scrolls 6. Like, I love you, Bethesda, I will play any game you put out, but come on, it's been like 7 years. Give me my Elder Scrolls 6. Hopefully it'll get announced at E3. In all seriousness though, I'm very excited to see more of Fallout 76, and I think this trailer has been released at exactly the right time to get everyone super hyped for E3. And that is it, a nice short bonus round for you today. So let me know your thoughts on these two announcements in the comments below. I'm also doing a Q&A at some point in the next couple of weeks, so leave your questions in the comments as well. Please give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and as always, pour yourself a nice new Coca-Cola and join me next Friday at 8 for the next video.